Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction for My Hero Academia chapter 304. This one is Izuku Midoriya and Toshinori Yagi, I think is the title. I'm excited. We kind of got to the end of last chapter and it seemed where we were going next is Izuku having his Vangala moment and talking to all the past One for All users. Sorry, I was making sure I didn't get that one wrong. It seems like that's what we're going to get this week. So I'm excited for that. Am I as excited as if we were getting more like Endeavor and Hawk stuff? Not really. I don't know. It just, ever since we had Endeavor and Hawks versus high-end Hood, like, ever since then I'm like, wow, as much as I like the students, the story is so much more interesting focusing on Endeavor and the pro heroes around him, or focusing on the villains like we did in the Villain Academia arc. That was amazing. But either way, we're jumping back into Izuku's story, and let's see what happens. We're just gonna have Ghost All Might in there, dropping some wisdom, I guess. I can feel one for all within the boy, but only very faintly. How's everyone faring? Gran Torino, Kachan, Endeavor, Todoroki, Rocklock, Manuel, Aizawa Sensei, Ryukyu, Ida, Hado, Togata. Please, be okay, everyone. Yo, and this is a cool looking room that all the spirits are in. I wonder how many more he'll be able to see now, because there were some that were like blocked out before, I think. Or that were shadowed out, kind of like he's partially shadowed out still. But a lot more of his physical body's there. Which, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if more of his physical body being there means that he's closer to fully embracing all of the past users and the quirk itself, or if it means that he's closer to dying and joining them as Ghost Izuku. But it's Chapter 304, Izuku Midoriya and Toshinori Yagi. Before you wake up, we gotta have a chat. I love this. So yeah, it looks like Nana, Avatar One for All, and that's the All Might Ghost. And then there's one more on the left, Lariat, and then the other guy, who I think is the one that had the Spidey Sense powers. So that's 6 in the chairs, and then 2 in the background. So that should be all of them, right? Yeah. Sorry to force this on you in such trying times, says Avatar One for All. Then the 2 facing away might be users 2 and 3. This too is destiny. Nah, just a matter of timing. And that would mean that Lariat is 5, and then 6 is my esteemed college, Banjo, has already spoken to you a bit about this. Okay, so I think he's the Spidey Sense guy. And then of course obviously 7 is Nana, and 8 is All Might. All the predecessors are with me in a dream again. Before, we could only interact with you by weaving through the interstices of your flickering consciousness, but that limitation no longer exists. About 4 months ago, my power, that is to say One for All, began growing rapidly. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, sorry, I was just making sure that I didn't miss anything. Along with that growth, the vestiges of the predecessors within One for All took on more solid forms, and they're now able to communicate with each other. In the earlier battle, my brother's power drew us out by sheer force, allowing us to appear before you more easily than before. Don't worry though, kiddo. We'll still give you your privacy when you need it. Oh right, you ain't got a mouth. I love how he's saying, we'll give you your privacy if you need it, as if like some point in the future he'll just have the ghosts of all the previous users just hanging around in his head, talking to him all the time, which would be hilarious. But wait, back there. I did manage to speak then. My mouth is formed, just a little bit. And he tries to say, what did you need to tell me? Allow me to explain. Okay then. So this is user 4. I am the 4th. My name is Hikage Shinomori. Okay. In your last battle, you drew on my power without meaning to. Okay, so he's Spidey Sense. Danger Sense. Yeah. Yeah. That came as a shock to me. Ori, I get the sense that it would have been better for you to discover danger sense in a better setting. That was well said. Shinomori here, was a weirdo who shunned modern society for the life of a hermit, and Lariat just slaps away at him. Mine was a terrible era. They were the weirdos, not me. Do you know, or happen to know how long I lived, and what killed me? And he's just dodging Black Whip attacks. You died at 40. Not sure what killed you. It wasn't written in All Might's notes, or rather, it was like he wrote something but erased it. I died of old age. Oh, at 40? That's interesting. Old age. He was only 40, though. Banjo and I had no way of knowing my cause of death until Yagi told us after some research. I'll get straight to the point. As of now, One for All cannot be wielded by an ordinary person. Huh? I possessed One for All the second longest, second only after Yagi. Okay. For 18 long years I evaded All for One and devoted my life to building up power. From the moment I inherited the quirk, I knew I could never defeat that villain, so I decided to spend my turn, so to speak, amassing further strength. This is actually really smart. He was like, well, I can't beat him, so I'm just going to go out into the woods, train for my entire life, so that when I die and pass it on, then the next person will have even more strength because I did the level grinding for him. That's actually really cool. I like this guy. In my final years, these cracks appeared on my body. I thought it was an unknown disease of some sort, or perhaps that I hadn't trained hard enough. But when Yagi dug up my medical history and autopsy report, the truth became clear. I say I died of old age because possessing multiple quirks effectively ate away at my very life. Your life? No way. But hang on a minute. One for All only grew stronger after your time, Shinomori, and All Might managed to hold on to it for much longer. That brings us to what we must tell you. When Yagi realized that possessing I don't know which way to start reading this. The others never held it for long, and since they died in battle, Yagi's only other point of comparison was himself, which is why, when Yagi realized that possessing One for All places a terrible burden on the body, he thought the same thing. He thought about what Shinomori had that he himself lacked. All Might was quirkless. Oh, so that's why All Might could live longer, I suppose, because he didn't get the quirk placed on top of an already existing one. Yes, Yagi still lives, but the knowledge he gained was passed to us via his shade in here. He couldn't be entirely sure, so we didn't tell you, but what my brother said confirmed it. He spoke of how a person's essence is hardwired into their quirk factor. But then, why would Yagi still appear here when he never had a quirk factor of his own? All this time we believed that the raw spirits of us predecessors resided within One for All. But in truth, those fragments of consciousness came about with the quirk factors of the 2nd through 7th successors. That is what One for All contains. Yagi is the sole exception. Only he, imbued One for All with a true piece of his consciousness. A vessel with an existing quirk could not receive One for All without warping and spilling over, and attempting to force it anyway results in a shortened lifespan as the 4th experienced. For 40 years, Yagi maintained his grip on One for All. It was a perfect fit for his previously empty vessel, and as such it truly became his quirk. Okay, so that explains a lot about why All Might was the way he was, and why all these other people had to train up their bodies, like Izuku had to train up his body, but All Might was like, I didn't really have to train it up, it just sort of came natural to me. And why when he was first trying to teach Izuku, he was bad at explaining it. So that makes all of that make a lot more sense. So is this where we get the reveal that Izuku had a quirk before or all along, and that's why he isn't an exception like All Might is? That's interesting. And also, everybody else, it's not it's not them themselves that are these spirits, the vestiges he's talking to, the piece left by them is their quirk factor. And that's why Izuku can use the quirks too. By some twist of fate, this power that must pass on from one to the next wound up being meant for those who lacked power to start with. They're the ones who can draw out its true value. You mean, especially now that the predecessor's quirks are manifesting, I definitely can't pass this on to a normal person. Okay. All for one can't be transferred anymore. That's what you're saying. Quirkless individuals have all but vanished in your generation, and you're unlikely to come across another who needs such power. None of us knew any of this at the time, but as fate would have it, it passed into into his hands and then yours. If only we had found a way to interact with the wielder sooner, so much pain and suffering could have been avoided. You get it now, kiddo. You might be the last wielder of One for All. I like this interesting turn that it's not because he's just like a super special, like, I don't know, it's not because Izuku is super special, one of a kind, that he's just magically, through hard work and miracles, going to be the last wielder. It's because there just aren't quirkless people anymore for him to pass it on to. Okay, so I like that. I could be the last one. That's the real issue. Now Izuku, and I love it imposes like a big drawback to what would otherwise be a really OP power. Tell me, can you kill Tomota Shigaraki? Okay, that's really cool. And I wonder if she really wants to know if he'll kill him, or if they're going to be okay with his decision to be like, nah, I think I want to save him instead. That was a really good chapter. That was really good. I always like getting more into like lore dumps and info dumps and stuff like that in any series I read. So of course I liked that. I don't know, just world building lore dump stuff is always just so good. I don't know why, it just is. But yeah, either way, I guess that's it. Thank you for watching. Like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this chapter and my thoughts and reaction and all that. Subscribe for more Boku no Hero Academia, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, just ask and I'll give you one. And if you would like to support the channel on Patreon, help me keep making videos, it's patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description. Either way, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.